All right, let's dive in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a new industrial revolution, one that's happening quite literally in the dark. We're talking about factories that never sleep, run entirely by robots, and are quietly reshaping our entire world.
For many years, I think it happened faster than many people in the West expected. And so if you're a factory owner, you want to find a way to blunt the impact of that. And automation is one very obvious way.
Rapid advancements in robotization has helped create what is now known as dark factories.
当我们在焊装车间有800多台机器人同时在工作，那这里边呢几乎可以实现完全关灯生产。
Just think about it for a second. A place of pure, non-stop production, running 24/7 with no breaks, no shift changes, and not a single human being on the factory floor. Just a silent, tireless workforce moving in perfect coordination. This isn't some far-off science fiction. This is the dawn of the dark factory. So, the official term for this is lights-out manufacturing, and it's really the ultimate expression of what people call Industry 4.0. It's a space that is optimized truly for efficiency, where the only light you'd see is from the machines themselves. Now, to really get a grip on just how massive this shift is, we've got to look at who's leading the pack. And right at the front of this whole thing is a company you almost definitely know for its phones, Xiaomi. But what you might not know is that beyond all that consumer tech, they are becoming an absolute manufacturing powerhouse, building some of the most advanced factories on the planet. So step inside their state-of-the-art Chengping Smart Factory. This place is so ridiculously clean that autonomous systems are literally handling dust removal at a microscopic level. The whole production line just moves at this insane pace. And out of this, well, this robotic dance, you get one flagship smartphone. And here's the truly staggering part. This scale that this speed makes possible. This isn't some small experimental prototype line. No, we're talking about an annual capacity of 10 million top-of-the-line smartphones, including their most complex and delicate foldable phones. But they didn't stop there. They took that same exact philosophy, that extreme automation, and pointed it right at the car industry. Inside their enormous EV hyperfactory, a place that's actually become a global tourist spot for engineers, they can build one brand new electric car. You've got more than 700 robots, all working in perfect coordination, nailing 100% automation across 200 of the most critical processes. It's like an automotive symphony, where you can watch robotic arms install car doors in under a minute. So how in the world is any of this actually possible? Well, look, this level of automation isn't just about throwing more robots at a problem. It's way smarter than that. It's about building a completely integrated, intelligent ecosystem where every single part can think, communicate, and even evolve. Think of it like a living organism. You've got the Hyper IMP platform, which is basically the AI brain of the whole operation, and it can even learn and improve on its own. Then you have the nervous system, tens of thousands of sensors collecting data on literally everything in real time. And finally, you have the tireless hands and eyes, autonomous vehicles and inspection systems that move and check everything with superhuman precision. One of the real game changers here, especially in their EV factory, is something called gigacasting. It totally rewrites the rules for one of the hardest parts of building a car. Instead of the incredibly complex job of welding 72 different pieces together at 840 different points, a single giant press just stamps out the entire rear floor structure in one go. And this right here is the secret sauce. Their insane level of self-reliance. I mean, they're developing almost all of their own hardware and 100% of the factory software. This means they aren't just using automation, they are architecting it from the ground up, and that gives them absolute control. Okay, so what Xiaomi is doing is incredible, but it's not happening in a bubble. It's actually a key piece of a much, much bigger national strategy, one that's designed to completely reshape the future of global manufacturing. And numbers here, they're just wild. In 2022 alone, China put more industrial robots to work than the United States and Japan combined. That accounts for 52% of all new installations in the entire world. This isn't just a trend, it's a full-on tidal wave of automation. And what that's done is push their robot density, which is just a fancy way of saying how many robots there are for every 10,000 human workers, to nearly 3 times the global average. This is a deliberate, strategic response to things like rising labor costs, sure, but it's also about securing a major technological advantage. The goal here is crystal clear: transform the nation from being the world's factory, known for low-cost goods, into a dominant high-tech powerhouse that's defined by advanced, intelligent manufacturing. And you can see companies like Xiaomi are leading this charge. You heard it straight from the founder, Lei Jun. They're pouring billions into research and development to build these core capabilities themselves, making sure they're not just playing the game, but actually writing the rules for this new industrial era. But all of this incredible efficiency, all this speed, it brings up a huge, critical question, one that hits home for millions of people and for the very fabric of our economies. What happens to the human workers in traditional manufacturing? You know, even a report from way back in 2017 saw this coming. Oxford Economics painted a pretty stark picture, projecting massive job displacement as this wave of automation picks up speed. The number's almost hard to wrap your head around, but it points to a fundamental shakeup in the labor market. However, here's the twist. This revolution might not be about eliminating jobs as much as it's about completely transforming them. The demand is shifting big time. It's moving away from manual labor on the assembly line and toward these highly skilled technical roles that manage, maintain, and optimize these incredibly complex automated systems. And the companies at the forefront, like Xiaomi, they're already getting ahead of this. They're actually creating their own internal programs to retrain their existing workforce, turning former assembly line workers into the robotics technicians and maintenance experts needed for the factory of the future. So, the real test for both nations and corporations is going to be managing this huge transition at scale. The success of these reskilling and education programs will really determine whether this technological leap leads to shared prosperity or just deeper inequality. And at the end of the day, it forces us to ask a really fundamental question about our own role in a world where machines can build pretty much anything. When robots handle production, what is left for people to do? What becomes our primary contribution? So, there you have it. We've looked under the hood at the technology that makes these dark factories tick, we've seen the mind-blowing speed they can operate at, and we've touched on the profound social and geopolitical shifts they represent. This is a revolution that's happening in the dark, but believe me, its impact will soon be visible everywhere. The question isn't whether this future is coming, but how we'll all choose to shape it. Thanks for joining us for this Explainer.